All right, so my last video audio was crazy and I had no idea. So I'm gonna redo it. I've been playing Texas Chainsaw Massacre. My hair is a mess, but I'm still a Blazer fan, and this news is too big to not talk about, especially for the channel that I have here, where I actually want things to go well. So, Haim has been traded to the Milwaukee Bucks in a three-team blockbuster. Who had this on their bingo card for the NBA offseason? I know I sure did not. So, what was the trade? Who went where? Who was the third team involved? The Phoenix Suns. Spoiler alert. Blah, blah, blah. You probably already know. DeAndre Ayton was the biggest piece coming into Portland. Dame, the biggest piece of all of it, being sent to Milwaukee. And then going to Portland, but more than likely somewhere else, is Drew Holiday. Beloved fan favorite across the league for the most part, and especially out there in Milwaukee, as he has brought tons of culture for that franchise and has done many a good thing there for them. Was part of their title winning, their championship in 2021. A couple days, I think just yesterday, said he wanted to retire a Milwaukee Buck, and very similar to Marcus Smart, unfortunately, was moved on from the franchise that they had more love for than the franchise had love for them. So let's go into the specifics of it. What did Portland get? Portland got Drew Holiday. They got DeAndre Ayton. They got this young kid, Kamara, a second-round pick from this past draft, 23 years old. They got a 2029 first-round pick from the Bucks, a 2028 first-round swap from the Bucks, and a 2030 first-round swap from the Bucks as well. So not too bad, especially considering that Marcus Spears just pointed out that the trade offer that they got from the Miami Heat was Tyler Hero and 2 first-round picks. So depends on what you value the picks at, but Drew Holiday should be bringing back multiple future assets from somewhere else as well. So Portland's out of the way. What did Milwaukee get? Damian Lillard. That's it. That's all you need. They got back one of the 2 to 3 best point guards in the league, one of the 3 best shooters in NBA history, who just came off of a 32 point per game season. 32 points per game, good enough for, I think it was like second or third in the league. The dude was dominant. He had a 71 point game. He had a couple 60 point games this season. He was balling on a team that just wasn't good enough, which is why he requested a trade in the first place. What did the Suns get out of this? Right? Because the Suns had DeAndre Ayton. They moved on from him, $32 million in salary. Part of the trade was to shed the salary. Part of the trade was to shed the immaturity. They didn't need that kind of a locker room cancer. DeAndre Ayton was more than willing to take a contract offer, a max contract offer, mind you, from the Indiana Pacers this past offseason. He did not want to go back to play for the Phoenix Suns. He, however, got pigeonholed back into it, was pretty much forced to play because of the rookie qualifying offer stuff, all those things that I feel like rookies shouldn't take if they're not happy, right? When you take that restricted free agency contract, you kind of get pigeonholed to stay where you were, even if you didn't want to be there, because they can match. Kirk Riley says, does this make the Bucks final save? Absolutely. They were already championship favorites before Dame. They're going to be that after Dame. I do think that they're going to miss Drew Holiday, but we'll get into that later. Drew Holiday is a fantastic player. He fits their mold. He fits everything that they do at a very high clip, especially the defensive side of things. And I think that's what's getting kind of forgotten about here, is that Drew Holiday is one of the best perimeter defenders the league has to offer. And right now, the Bucks kind of give up on that and they take a different identity. What the Bucks have hinged on their entire successful period here has been their defense. Top 5 defense, top 5 defense, top 5 defense, top 5 defense. The offense has always been kind of in the middle of the pack. So now they're more than likely going to have a much better offense. When Dame played, the Blazers played at a top 5, top 10 offense, and when he sat, they played at a worst offense in the league. So that's the difference in player you're getting. It's pretty much day and night. Who does benefit more, Ayton, Scoot, or Dame? So Scoot is going to be in the Rookie of the Year conversation. I think Chet Holmgren's going to win it because he's a sophomore technically, but he has all that extra training. He has a good frame. He's going to play very well. Dame is going to have an opportunity to play for a championship. How happy he's going to be is all up to whatever comes out with the next set of rumors. Ayton, all 3 of them, honestly, all 3 of them are winners. Ayton gets what he wanted. He didn't want to play behind Kevin Durant. He didn't want to play behind Devin Booker. He wasn't enough of a focal point in the offense out there in Phoenix, and he was miserable. Part of the issue for Ayton is that he really is immature. Talked about it all year. He really didn't want to be there. And a big negative to him and his future is going to be can't be a detriment to your team. To his credit, even though he was upset, he went out there and got 18 points, 10 boards, a couple of assists on 60% shooting. So that's him when he's mad. What's he going to be like when he's happy, when he actually gets what he wants, when he's playing in an offense that's more predicated to what he can do? He's one of the best rim runners in the game. He's an extreme athlete. He was a key cog in the Phoenix Suns making the NBA Finals a couple of years ago. So I know Phoenix has changed their, I guess, direction aggressively since then. But Aiden is a pretty good player. And we haven't even seen the cusp of what he can be. I think he can be way better. Dame playing alongside Giannis, it's a dream fit. It's two players that complement each other so well. Giannis is a dynamite screen and roll player. Dame is one of the best initiators off the pick and roll. And now it's going to space the floor in a way that, as much as I love Drew, he couldn't space the floor like that. 30% three-point shooter. His offense tend to tank in the middle of pivotal playoff moments. They're still going to miss him, obviously. In the middle of the season, the man was a tank. He went out there and balled out of his mind consistently. And it's something that they're really going to miss going forward, especially when it comes down to the marathon of an NBA season. Lillard played 58 games last year, and he could have played more. Obviously, they sat him down towards the tail end of the season with, them trying to tank in hopes of, landing a Scoot or a Victor Wembanyama. But prior to that, he played like 60. Prior to that, I think he missed the whole season 2 years ago. Not most of the season, that is. So it's going to be something where you're trading in tried and true Drew for Dame, who's been a little bit more injured. However, is still one of the best players in the world. So all three of them walk away winners. Dame may be the biggest loser out of all three if you wanted to pick a winner and a loser, because he didn't get to go to Miami. He didn't get exactly what he wanted. But at the end of the day, he was still sent to a contender. And that was something that I mentioned months ago when this trade demand first came out. I was saying that I understand the concept of, are you doing the player wrong? That's what he wanted. He was here for so long. Do you owe him that? And my thing was, you owe him sending him to a contender. You owe him sending him to a situation where it's not going to be negative. Like, you're not sending him to Detroit or Washington, a team that's in full rebuild mode. You're sending him to a team that has the opportunity to compete for what he wants, which is a championship. Would it be literal quote, would it be a disservice if we sent him to the Lakers, to the Clippers, to the Warriors? Well, now we know the Warriors he would never want to play for, or the Bucks besides the Heat. No, because you sent him to a place where he has an opportunity to win. They did that. They sent him to a place where he has a legitimate chance to play for an NBA championship. Wasn't the place he wanted, partly due to a little bit of hubris, a little bit of, shit talking and all of those extra things that come into sports. Don't have the exact quote, but something along the lines of, this is what we offered you. If you can do better, then go for it, right? Essentially what Miami told Portland and Joe Cronin. And they went out there and they found something that they thought would be better. The reported asset exchange was never the max thing that was out there early on, where it was like Triple J, Jovic, Caleb Martin, Tyler Hero, and all 4 draft picks. None. That was never on the table. Apparently, Marcus Spears just pointed out a couple days ago that it was Tyler Hero and 2 first-round picks. Miami, my entire life, has been a good team. From the early 90s with Tim Hardaway and Alonzo Mourning, up until they were bad for a season and they got Dwayne Wade, and then they were phenomenal. Dwayne Wade, Shaq, Mourning, Gary Payton. Then they pivoted from Wade to Wade, LeBron, and Bosh. They pivoted from that to actually being a bad team for a season where they went 10-31 through the first 41 games. And then because they have one of the greatest coaches and one of the greatest cultures in the sport of basketball, they flipped the season literally around and went 31-10 for the other half of the season. And Spoelstra, despite missing the playoffs, came this close to winning Coach of the Year. And that's crazy. But that's what Miami does. They're a good franchise. They've done well for themselves for 3 decades. So those draft picks at the end of it wouldn't be very ideal, even 5-6 years down the line, right? 2029, 2030, those draft picks probably wouldn't be worth that much, because we know how good this franchise is run, how well this franchise is run. It's very consistent. It's a machine. So they went for a place where there could be a little bit more discontentedness. The Blazers walked away with a 2029 first round pick, unprotected. 2028 swap, 2030 swap, Drew Holiday, DeAndre Ayton, and this young kid, second round pick, Kamara. So 2029 pick, what is that? 6 years from now. Damian Lillard will be 39. Contract ends in 4 years. 3 years if he decides to take an early termination option with his player choice. And he may not even be there. Giannis, for his style of play, be about 34 years old. Probably still be pretty damn good, but not the best player in the world. Not the second best player in the world. There's other teams that might be better than them. They might be falling back in the pack a little bit. They're a small market. They got lucky. They hit pay dirt when it came to drafting Giannis Antetokounmpo. That's not something you're going to get every day. So, what is going to be the trade-off? That 2029 pick has more of an opportunity to be a lottery pick than a Miami pick. That's just being real. The other two, the swaps, maybe Portland's better 6 years from now. Scoot will be in his mid-20s. Ayton will be in the heart of his prime at 31 if he decides to stay sharp. Shaedon Sharpe would be up there too, in the middle of his prime, 25-ish. They might be a better team. Maybe they flip some of those assets. We don't know. It's impossible to tell. So what was 2 first-round picks unprotected became 1 guaranteed, and then whatever they can trade for Drew Holiday for. Drew Holiday is a win-now player today. Now, my prediction, and obviously worth nothing. There's no report. I don't know anybody. I'm not going to put some bullshit. My prediction is Drew Holiday gets traded to the Sixers. Drew Holiday to the Sixers for James Harden and a first-round pick. James Harden gets traded in turn to the Clippers for cap filler and a first-round pick. Now you get 2 first-round picks. Maybe you send a little bit more of that cap filler back to Philly as more of a compensatory thing. We'll see what happens. But for the most part, you get back 2 extra picks. Now you have 3 picks, 2 swaps, DeAndre Ayton, and whatever other cap filler you picked up from the Clippers, right? Because they have a lot of expirings. Rocco, Marcus Morris, Nicholas Batum. There's a bunch of players on their roster that are on the final year of their deal. That could be part of your package flip. What we do know is, what I believe to know is the Milwaukee pick is much more valuable because it's so far down the line. Can't even see it yet. You're getting a freshman in high school today, and you don't know what it's going to be. But I do know it's more than likely going to be in the lottery. So that's what you're gambling on. On the other side, you get a player that fits. DeAndre Ayton, one of the best rim runners in the game. He got great hands. He has a soft touch around the basket. He's a really good basketball player. A bit of a little soft. I was about to call him a bad word. He's a little soft because he decided that he was unhappy in Phoenix and really played with such lackadaisical effort that Jacques Landale stole his minutes in the playoffs. That's inexcusable. But we do know when he's happy and when he's engaged and when he wants to be somewhere, he is pretty damn good. He was the starting center of an NBA finalist that came 2 wins away from an NBA champion. Even discontent, he went out there this past season and gave them 18 points and 10 boards on damn near 60% shooting. He's a good player. The difference is that he fits. What does Portland have? What are Portland's growing assets? You don't know the answer? They have 3 really good, really promising young guards. Shaedon Sharpe finished his rookie season averaging like 27 points a game, shooting incredibly well as the focal point of an offense where they had nobody. No, they benched everybody. They were playing the bottom of the barrel of their talent. Anthony Simons, a player who's improved every single season, a super athletic guard with a 6'9" wingspan despite only being 6'4", who has a lights-out jump shot, who can get nuclear at any moment. A Jordan Poole without the mental head games. Really talented player. Also super athletic. Former dunk champion, despite how you may feel about the dunk champion or dunk contest or whatever. The guy's super athletic. And now Scoot Henderson, someone who I made one of my first videos on. I'll say that's at the end of time because I made that video knowing fully well what Victor Wembanyama is. Who Victor Wembanyama is. One of the best prospects in NBA history. And you know what? I was saying that Scoot Henderson is not just a consolation prize. He's not going to just be the second overall. If it was any other draft, he would be the number 1 overall pick. And that offseason last year, when they had the G League Ignite play the Metropolitan 42s, he went out there and busted Victor Wembanyama's ass. Picked him up in every single switch and was like, I want him. You can't teach that. You cannot. He got dog in him. They gave him x-rays, pitbull, all over him. He's an animal. He's a different beast, and he's something that he has the mentality of a winner. Can't teach that. He doesn't have the best jump shot. He has great court vision. He's really nice in the mid-range game, and he's a super freak athlete who, despite being 19 years old, is built like a tank. Have you seen him? There's a picture rolling around where he's just screaming, just shredded out, like looking like prime Andre Iguodala. Like he's jacked for a 19-year-old kid. Can't even drink yet. Kid, 19. Monster. And I'm excited for that as a Blazer fan, obviously. Now, what does this mean for Milwaukee? What do you get? What do you have here? Well, I'm kind of getting ahead of myself. I was talking about the Blazer assets. Ayton fits better because he's a center. They have 3 young, promising guards. They don't need Tyler Hero. Tyler Hero is a redundant asset. Why do we know that? I got way ahead of myself. Why do we know that Tyler Hero is a redundant asset? Good player. 20-point per game scorer, NBA finalist. Despite them making it the finals again this year, where he wasn't even playing, he was there. You know, a couple years ago in the bubble, rookie season. How do we know he's a good player? He averaged 20 points a game. He shot 40% from 3. He's solid. Very, very good. He does have a more long-term deal than Ayton. I think he has 4 years left. Ayton had, I believe, 2 or 3. But what happens when you have 4 of promising young talents? There's only 96 minutes to go in the guard position. 48 point guard, 48 for the shooting guard. You have 4 now. Really good guards. Really good ones. What happens? None of them get to develop. Now you just stunted the growth of 4 promising players. You just ruined yourself. And how do we know that? Orlando. Orlando went out there, picked up every power forward that they could imagine. Jonathan Isaac, Aaron Gordon, Nikola Vucevic. Big men. Just big men, nonstop. Hey, we need guards. We need a small forward. No. Get a power forward. Draft him. And now they're stuck. Well, not now. Now they're actually in a pretty good spot with Paolo Banchero and Franz Wagner. But they went out of their way to stunt the growth of really, really talented players for no reason. Now Aaron Gordon's an NBA champion. He wasted 7 years in Orlando where they just didn't even know how to use him. So I'm glad Portland opted for fit rather than talent. Because I would say that Tyler Hero today is a better basketball player than DeAndre Ayton. Maybe Tyler Hero tomorrow is a way better basketball player than DeAndre Ayton. But if we had him, we wouldn't use him properly, and he wouldn't get enough time to be the best version of himself. Now we have a center, very young, who could be the focal point of an offense, and 3 guards who have the opportunity to blossom, playing the most amount of minutes possible at both guard positions. So they're going to have a lot of opportunity to learn, a lot of opportunity to make mistakes, which is the exact thing that you need for a young team. Okay, now we can move forward. What does this mean for the Milwaukee Bucks? They just picked up Damian freaking Lillard. Now, they were championship or bust already. They're the Milwaukee Bucks. They are a phenomenal franchise in the most recent time frame. They just came off of winning a championship. They have one of the 2 best players in the world in Giannis, next to Jokic. You know, however you want to juggle it. If you want to say he's 3rd, 4th, or 5th, doesn't matter. He's a top 5 player in the league. One of the best rim finishers in the NBA, and one of the most versatile and best defenders in the league, if not the best. You pair that with one of the best offensive players in league who just came off of his best season scoring the ball. This guy shot 65% true shooting, 32 points per game. Giannis just averaged 31 points per game, shooting like 80% from the field inside the restricted area. Obviously, he can't buy a floater. He's not a good free throw shooter, not a good 3-point shooter. But when you get him rolling to the rim, who's stopping him? Very, very few people. And now his co-star is one of the best pick and roll facilitators in the game. What are you going to do? Are you going to overcommit on a switch? Are you going to overcommit on a hedge and have Giannis getting a full head of steam, almost uncontested to the rim with one of the better passers in the game, making that opportunity? It's pick your poison, and it's going to be tough. It's going to be very tough for a lot of teams. So Milwaukee put themselves in a situation where they actually have another really good opportunity to win a championship. What does it mean for the Suns? The Suns got a lot of depth. They picked up a lot of players that I don't think that anybody thought that they could afford. They picked up talented guys like Bol. They got exceptional veterans like Eric Gordon. They've stacked the deck in a way that I don't think I thought was possible. Every time they made a signing, I was like, they got him? Like, it was crazy. And now they added Yusuf Nurkic, Nasir Little, and added a lot of extra depth. What does that depth do for them? Now, me personally, as a Blazer fan, I have not liked Nurkic for years. Most of it's not his fault. He got hurt. Dude broke his leg. He's a 300-pound, 7-footer who broke his leg. That's a really hard injury to come back from for most people, let alone a 300-pounder that is 7 feet tall. Leg injuries, lower extremity injuries for big men tend to be more damaging than for other people, especially when you weigh 300 pounds. Very talented player, though. Nurkic is not a bum. The guy's actually pretty damn good at what he does. So, if he's available, he gives them an opportunity to have a center that's not going to give up, that's going to play incredibly hard with limited touches on a day-to-day basis. What happens to Kevin Durant and all them? They're going to get the opportunity for rest. Players like Keon Johnson can fill in for a day or two. A player like Nasir Little gives you wing depth. Because what matters to Phoenix is always going to be that finish line, right? What they did was all in. All chips are on the table. We're going for a championship. The West is stacked, players. Stacked with talent. I don't think seeding really matters for the Suns at all. But I will say they got to get to the playoffs at all, like in the first place. They got to be one of those top 6 teams, stay out of the play-in tournament, skip that extra game. And a way to do that is finding smart opportunities to give your stars rest. And now they have the chance to do that. With players like Eric Gordon, like Keon Johnson that they just picked up, like Nasir Little at the wing position, they have an opportunity to put in young talent and old talent to fill in the extra minutes, just talent in general, to fill in the extra minutes while these guys take a day off. Because this marathon is going to be very important for them, especially down the stretch of it. All right. The rumors. If this trade story at all has taught you anything, it should be not to listen to reports. The reports are all bullshit. Almost all bullshit. A lot of what you will read, which is what I've been arguing with on Twitter for months now, will be a really high-ranking media member, someone like Shams, someone like on the Miami side, Barry Jackson, or Aaron Fentress when it comes to Portland. And they're going to put a lot of these bullshit words that completely erase what the meaning of it is. Meaning of whatever they're going to say doesn't matter anymore. Because they'll put something like, believe. Like, I believe this is going to happen. I could believe the sky is green. Doesn't make it true. Whatever I believe doesn't matter. It's my belief. It doesn't matter where my position is. It doesn't matter where I stand in whatever situation or my foundational, stance in the league. What kind of high-ranking media member I may be. Sham said, I believe that Dame would not report and request a trade from any franchise he's traded to. The very first thing he said after being traded to the Milwaukee Bucks publicly was, I'm excited for my next chapter at Bucks with a ticket. Obviously, that doesn't sound like he's requesting a trade. That sounds like he's excited to play alongside Giannis and the Milwaukee. And that's pretty far away. Wisconsin's not exactly Miami. It's much different. You know, cold winters, brisk. You know, it's not ideal. But he's going to be a professional, and he's going to go on. A lot of those early rumors where he was shutting down other teams, him and his agent, Aaron Goodwin, hey, he's not going to play for you. Don't get him. He's disgruntled. Papa Adam Silver had to step in. It got real ugly real fast. And you know what changed? After Adam Silver pressed him, Lillard said, I would fulfill my contractual obligations to any team I am traded to. And even with that exact quote coming from Lillard in his camp, because Adam Silver pressed him for it, people were still saying he would not report to training camp, wouldn't suit for the team, etc., etc. So if we learned anything from this at all, it's that media reports tend to be bogus, and it's really hard to substantiate what anybody's saying because everybody's looking for the most kind of engagement. Tertiary to all of it. So went over the trade, went over bogus media reports. What the fuck happened in Miami? They swung and they missed on Kevin Durant. They swung and they missed on Bradley Beal. They swung and they missed on Damian Lillard. That's multiple superstars that Pat Riley and co have failed on. And Lillard begged to go there. All over the place. I want to be in Miami. Every news media cycle that he did, I want to be in Miami. I want to be in Miami, blah, 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 blah. They dropped the ball. They said that they were not going to outbid themselves. They got cocky enough and borderline disrespectful to the Blazer front office in certain regards. I have an exact quote here. At one point, it was revealed that they dared the Blazers to find a better deal. Hey, Dame wants to be in Miami. Nobody wants to trade for him. He said he doesn't want to play anywhere else. Go ahead. Go out there. Find a better deal than Hero and 2 firsts. Click. On the better deal. They traded him there. You're a rival. Direct competitor to you. The team that blew fourth quarter leads to you this past playoffs. The team that beat you 2 years ago. Fuck happened? And this is something that I mentioned years ago, leading into part of my podcast and part of this channel. What was the last big trade that happened in Miami? Oh, wait. Who was the last top 10, top 15, top 20 player that Miami traded for? Ready? Shaquille O'Neal. 2005. Well, 04, 05. That's how long ago it was. They picked up really good players between, not traded for. Sign and trade is different because a player was a free agent and had an opportunity to go there, and they just had to make the money work. Sign and trade Jimmy Butler, sign and trade LeBron James, sign and trade Chris Bosh. That's not exactly a trade. That's not a mid-contract trade. That is I want to play for you, and I have the ability to go there. I'm going there, and then this team's going to help you facilitate that because they have no choice. They gave the Blazers no choice, and then they were disrespectful about it. I've been on Twitter for months arguing with people, reading the stuff, Blazer fucking venting sessions and all that. I've been there as a Blazer fan. It was tough. It was a tough 3 months, man. It was like, this is brutal. When he gets traded to Miami, it's going to suck. It's going to be a real shitty week. He's a Milwaukee Buck now. It's nuts. But they dropped the ball. They fucked up. They made a couple of bad decisions in a row. When there was I want to say genuine because we didn't know it was genuine. When there was traction and words this past couple of weeks about Lillard being taken to the Raptors or Lillard being traded to the Bucks a couple of days ago was kind of popping up a little bit. Instead of upping the offer, they could have called, hey, all right. We see you guys are trying to gain some traction elsewhere. We would like to, we'll give you 2 more picks. We'll add Jovic, and we'll try to find a team to take Hero on to get you a player like Ayton or something, a big man or small forward. Do some legwork for you, and we'll, how does that sound? All right, cool. Thank you. Nope. Call your bluff. We think that these reports are all fake. That's part of the game, right? Media reports, a lot of it swirls. If you were scrolling Twitter at all as a Blazer or Heat fan, you probably saw a fuck ton of things from Barry Jackson, a fuck ton of stuff from that guy Chris or whatever the fuck his name is. A lot of these Miami 305 sports areas is posting their paradigm of media coverage. That's what it is. A lot of it is just their paradigm. It's just this guy quoting a nameless source and giving all this random information that unsubstantiated and going forward from there. Saw a lot of it. As a Dame fan, I love the guy. Watched all this stuff, and it was tough. A lot of it was tough to read. A lot of it was tough to see. It was like, damn, this sucks. You know, my guy's leaving. Drop the ball. Drop the ball, OD. So, what does that mean for Dame? He gets a real chance to win a championship. He would have had that in Miami too. And this is part of what I was saying before. Is it a disservice to send him to another contender if the offer was better? I don't think so. He got sent to a contender. Last year, somebody asked him on Twitter, what player would you like to help go to the playoffs with or potentially even a finals run? One word. He put one word. The name. Giannis. That was who he put. Now he gets the opportunity to play alongside Giannis, one of the most dominant players of the last 20. And he's still in the peak of his powers too. It's going to be awesome to see in Milwaukee. Milwaukee people should be excited. I'm a little concerned about the identity flip that they're going to have. You go from Jrue Holiday, one of the best perimeter defenders in league history, especially in the last 10 years, to Damian Lillard, who is notorious for being a horrible defender. But you get one of the best offensive creators and offensive fulcrums and offensive engines in the game. So it's a bit of a switch. And for Dame, he's going to have an opportunity to play alongside something he hasn't had since LaMarcus Aldridge. An all-star. A player that made an all-star team. Since Aldridge left, Dame has not had a sixth man of the year, a most improved player, a all-NBA, all-defensive, not all together, just individually. Any of it. Statistical leader, none of it. Dame has not had one to fit any player of the month. He hasn't had a player of the month since 2015. So now he has a chance to play with a two-time MVP, NBA champion, most votes in an all-star appearance for the Eastern Conference. All-star last year, more than likely going to be an all-star this year. Real opportunity to play alongside top-end talent. With a backline of players like Bobby Portis, Brooke Lopez, Pat Connaughton, like really good basketball players. The coaching situation, I don't know what's going to happen. Adrian Griffin is brand new for the head coaching position, but he's been coaching for like 17 years. Harry Stotts is his assistant, someone that Dame is very familiar with, someone that knows how to use Dame to the highest level. He was the head coach of the Blazers when they made their Western Conference Finals run in 2019. So Dame is familiar with what's going on. But the rest of the Bucks got to get on the same. For the Blazers, they have an opportunity to build and run a really bright young core, a triumvirate of guards, talented guards that can do it all, and now a 25-year-old big man who hopefully is engaged. That's a bit of the question mark there. Is he actually going to want to play for us? And I hope he does. But even when he doesn't, a disengaged 18-10 is still better than any year Nurkic has had. So an upgrade there. And whatever we get for Jrue Holiday. Me personally, I would wait. Waiting helps. Because we don't know what's happening anywhere else. Are the Sixers really going to trade Harden? Are they going to hold him? Are they going to get desperate and make another ill-advised move? Right? Because part of the reason why this trade happened in the first place was Giannis got desperate. Giannis was like, I'm not re-upping my contract unless I see the same commitment from Milwaukee as I give them. And what did he do? What did they do, rather? They were like, fuck it. We're trading Jrue Holiday and a couple of first-round picks, and we're getting you Dame. Is that enough of a commitment? And it's funny, because this is the same thing he did a couple years ago when they got Jrue Holiday. They had Eric Bledsoe, all-NBA, all-defensive first team, all-star, and they were like, yo, Eric Bledsoe, you're out. You're going to the Pelicans with 3 first-round picks and 4 swaps, and we're getting Jrue Holiday. Good trade. It worked out. They won a championship the same year. So they seem to be committed to Giannis. Giannis may re-up his contract. And if they can win a title or two, maybe Dame stays another year and retires there. It'll be great. We're at the end of his career, and it'll be cool to see him win a chip. There's just a lot of stuff going on. We're going to see a lot of extra reports come out, some drama, and I'm excited for it. I love basketball so much, so all of that's gonna matter to me. But it's gonna be fun, and we're in for a bit of a doozy here. I'm excited to see the Blazers. I'm probably gonna get, being from New York, I'm probably gonna get a Brooklyn Nets versus uh well, Milwaukee game, but I want to see the Blazers play. I got to get a Scoot jersey now that my Lillard jersey is officially going to be retired. So we'll see what happens there. I don't really have much else to talk about this, man. I want to see your thoughts, though. Let me know in the comments below what you think. I would love to have a debate, conversation about this. Obviously, I'm not as high on Hero as most people in Miami are. I'm not high on their draft picks either, as they probably shouldn't be either, because they had never been bad. And I wish Dame the best of luck, man. You gave us 11 incredible years, which included 2 series ending game winners against the Oklahoma City Thunder, where I was watching it with some friends in my bedroom. Yep. I was like, yo, he's going to pull up from back here. They were like, no, he's going to take a step. He's going to pull up from right there, pointed at the screen. Around the area, he did a fucking little step back. Bang. Right? But we wish you the best of luck, Dame. We love you. I'm not even from Portland, but I'm a big Portland fan. You're one of the first jerseys I ever got, you and LaMarcus Aldridge. So super sad to see you go, but super happy to watch you have an opportunity to win. The other side, Scoot, Aiton, Sharp, Stymons. Yo, let's get to work, man. It's going to be awesome. You guys have a lot of opportunity to get better, a lot of opportunity to actually showcase what you can do, and maybe give us a chance, man. I believe in it. And for the Suns, I truly don't care. You guys suck. I wish I wish you the best of luck. But thank you so much for watching. I'll catch you guys next time, and leave your thoughts in the comments below.